Okay, students. So we are going to discuss the next topic, that is ratios. Okay. So first, we can just discuss what is exactly a ratio. So we can just take an example to just decode it. So say for example, if we are given a data, we are assuming that there are total of 200 students in a class. Okay. So that 200 students includes a combination of boys and girls. Okay. So there are combination of boys and girls is giving us 200, and say they have given a data that the ratio of boys and girls is 3 is to 2. Okay, and we have been asked to find the number of boys in the class. Okay, so what in the data, if we can see, total students are 200, that is a combination of boys and girls. They have given the ratio as 3 is to 2, and we have to find the number of boys in the class. Okay, so how we can do it? Yeah, there are number of methods to do it. The first method will be the ratio. Basically means what? 3 is to 2 is the simplest form of our actual values. So if we are just multiplying a term in both the ratios, we can get the actual value. So we are assuming that common value as x. So we are assuming that we are taking the total boys here as 3x and assuming the total girls as 2x. So we know the sum of these two conditions has to give us 200. So we can say that 3x plus 2x has to give us what? 200. So sum of this will be 3x plus 2x is what? 5x. So 5x is equivalent to 200. Now from this x we can say that value of x has to be what? 200 by 5, that is 40. Okay. So from here we have got the value of x as 40. Now we need to find the number of boys. So boys we had assumed that it has 3x. So if we are just substituting this value here, 3 into 40 gives us what? 120. So we can say that out of 200 students, 120 are boys. So one method is this, just taking that common term as x and assuming that boys has 3x and 2x, and connecting the question based on the value given. Okay. Another method is there that also we can discuss. Uh, Other method basically means we know the ratio of boys and girls here is 3 is to 2. So what we can say that if in a class there are 5 students, we can say out of 5 students, 2 are basically what? Girls and 3 are boys. So we can say out of 5, 3 are boys. So 3 by 5 of we can do 200. Okay, since 200 is the total number of students. Okay, so just cancel out, you are getting 40 here. 3 into 40 also gives us what? 120. So from here as well we can say our answer is basically 120. So two methods are there, just placing a common term x and trying and connecting it. Otherwise you can use this approach as well to find the answer. Okay. Okay. Now we are going to discuss some of the few questions which will be important for us in the upcoming questions based on ratios. Okay. Okay. So we can move to the first set. Okay. So this is a basic condition. They have given a condition that if 2a equal to 3b equal to 4c, from that we have to find the ratio of a, b and c. Okay. So here basically there are two steps to find the ratio of a, b and c. The first step is take the coefficients, take the LCM of the coefficients. So what does the coefficient basically mean here? As we know, we have three variables here, a, b and c. The coefficient is basically the number which comes before the variable. So here the numbers are 2, 3 and 4. So just take the LCM of 2, 3 and 4. So what is the LCM of 2, 3 and 4? As we know, it is 12. Okay. So you have got the LCM. Now the second step says that just equate the LCM with the three values separately. That means 2a you have to connect it with 12. Likewise 3b has to be related with the LCM. Okay, likewise the third value also has to be related with the LCM. So as we know 2a is 12, so a has to be what? A has to be 6, then b has to be 4 and the value of c is 3. Okay, so we have got the final answer that the ratio of a, b and c is what? 6 is to 4 is to 3. Okay, so two steps. Like we said, the first step, take the LCM of the coefficient. Okay, so we got the we had the coefficients here as 2, 3 and 4. So taking the LCM, which gives us 12. Now relating every term with the LCM to get the ratios as 6 is to 4 is to 3. Okay, so I hope that you got the solution part here. Okay. Okay, now I think we can move to the next question. Same question. So just try and pause the video and try it. Then try to just see the solution. Okay. Now same process. What was the conditions here? First step was take the LCM of the coefficients. So here our coefficients is 3, 4 and 5. So taking the LCM, what we are going to get? So LCM of 3, 4 and 5 is the 60. Okay. Yeah. Now the second step was equate every term with the LCM. So here we can say that 3a equal to 60. Likewise 4b equal to 60. Okay. Likewise 5c is also equal to 60. Okay. So from here we can get the value of a as what? 20. Value of a is 20. Value of b is what? 60 by 4, that is 15. And value of c will be 12. Okay. So we are getting the value of a as 20, b as 15 and c as 12. So which option will... Okay, so which option gives us the answer here? Yeah, 20 is to 15 is to 12. That is option B. Okay. Okay, now I think we can move to the next question. Okay. So in this question, basically what we are going to do is they have given the ratio in the fraction form. So what we are going to do is we are going to convert this the ratio which is given the fraction form into whole number. So here as well there are two steps. The first step what we have to do is take the LCM of the denominator. Okay, so the first condition here is take the LCM of the denominator. So here the denominator, the values are 2, 7 and 4. So first step, take the LCM. So 2, 7, 4, I hope you know the LCM. The LCM is 28. Okay, so we have got the LCM. Now the second step says that just multiply the LCM that we have got in the 3 fractions. So that basically means 3 by 2 into 28. Second fraction is 4 by 7, so 4 by 7 into 28. Likewise, the third fraction is 1 by 4, so 1 by 4 into 20. Okay. If we are just solving it, 14 times we are getting 42 here. We have 4 times, so we are getting 16. Then 4 sevens are is for 28, so 7 times. Okay, so what we are getting the answer here as 42 is to 16 is to 7 is our final answer. Okay, so this is also an important concept that you need to know, because in certain questions if they say they are giving the ratios in the fraction form, it is better to convert it into a whole number and try to find the answer. That will make our calculation a bit more easier. So two steps here: take the LCM of the denominator and then just multiply the LCM with the 3 fractions to get the ratio in the whole number. Okay, I think now we can move to the next question. Okay, the same question. So same, just pause the video and try to do it alone and then just see for the final answer. Okay, the same process. What was the step? Take the LCM of the denominator. Okay, so what is the LCM here? 2, 5 and 4 are our values in the denominator. So the LCM has to be 20. Now just multiply 20 with every fraction. So that is 3 by 2 into 20, 4 by 5 into 20 and 1 by 4 into 20. Okay. So what are we going to get here? We are going to get 30 here. Here what we are going to get is 16. Here we are going to get 5. Okay, so if you are just converting it into whole number, like it, ratio in the whole number form, the answer what we are getting is 30 is to 16 is to 5. Okay, so I hope that you got the concept now. Okay, I think we can now move to the next question here. Okay. The next condition, here's what they have given. They have given two conditions that A by B or A is to B, both are the same. They have given that A by B is 2 by 3 and they have given B by C as 5 by 4. B by C is basically here 5 by, okay. And they have asked the value of A is to B is to C. Okay. So what is the process to do this? Just two conditions. The first thing you have to look for is which is a common variable in both the cases and if their corresponding values are same or not. So as we can see here, common value is variable is obviously B, but its corresponding values are not the same. Here first condition B is 3, second condition B is 5. So first step is you have to find the LCM of the both the values of B. So LCM of what is 3 and 5. So LCM of 3 and 5 gives us what? 15. Now the next step is you have to make the value of B 15 in both the cases. So in the first ratio, as we can see, the value of B is 3. So how we can make it 15? Multiply it with 5. So one thing you have to note, you have to multiply 5 in the numerator and denominator as well. So that is an important thing that you need to remember in case of ratios. If you are making a change in the denominator, you have to make that same change in the denominator and vice versa. Okay. And the second condition, value of B is 5. So to make it 15, what we have to do? Multiply it with 3. So do the same in case of the denominator part as well. Okay, now if we just seeing value of B is same, now we can just directly connect with the answer. So as we can see, the value of A is 10 here, value of B is 15 and value of C is what? 12. Okay, so we can say our answer is 10 is to 15 is to 12. Okay, I hope that you got the solution. Okay, so two conditions, just try to just look which variable is the same and just see if the corresponding values are same or not. If they are not same, we have to make it same. How we are doing that? Just you have to take the LCM of the values and try to connect according to that. Okay. So doing that, we are getting the answer yes, 10 is to 15 is to 12. Okay. Now I think we can move to the next question. Okay. So same type, just change the values. Okay. So here as we can see, they have given that A by B is what? 2 by 5 and the value of B by C is here 2 by 3. Okay, the same process, obviously the common variable is B here as well, but its corresponding values are different. Okay, here the value of B is 5, here there is 2. So what we have to do, first what we have to do, we have to make that value same. The same process, take the LCM of 2 and 5, so LCM is 10. So to make 5 10, you have to multiply with 2, do the same in the numerator part as well. In the second case, the value of B is 2. So to make it 10, you have to multiply it with 5. So you have to do multiply with 5 in the numerator and the denominator part as well, both the cases. Okay. So now you have got the answer as A is 4, B is 10 and C is 50. Okay. So the answer here is 4 is to 10 is to 50. Okay. So I hope that you got the solution here. Now if you are moving to the next question here. Okay. In the next condition they have given, they have asked for A is to B is to C is to D. So for that they have given three equations here. First equation says that A by B is what? 1 by 2. Then they have given for B by C as well. B by C is what? 4 by 3. And C by D they have given as 1 by 4. And they have asked for the values of A is to B is to C is to D. So what is the process? Here what you can do, you can start with the last two conditions. Okay. So we are going to start with B by C and C by D. So which is the common variable in both the cases? Obviously C is the common variable. So first what you have to do, you have to make the value of C same in both the cases. So here already what is the process? Take the LCM. So here the value of C is 3, here is 1. So obviously LCM of 1 and 3 is 3. So you have to make this 1 as 3. So what you have to do, you have to multiply 3 in the numerator and denominator. Okay, now we have made the value of C same in both the cases. Now compare the first and the second condition. Which variable is common? Yeah, B is common. Here B, the value of B is 2, here it is 4. So to make it same, you have to take the LCM of B. Values are 2 and 4, the LCM is obviously 4. Okay, so here as well, no need to change anything. For making 2 as 4, multiply it with 2. Okay, so by doing so, we have made the variables which are common same. Now you can directly write the answer. So the value of A is 2 here, value of B is 4, value of C is what? 3, and value of D is 15. So we have got the answer as 2 is to 4, 2 is to 4 is to 3 is to 50. Okay, I hope that you got it. So in this condition, just to make sure that you start with the last two conditions. Okay, always start with the last two conditions. That will make our calculation part as well bit more easy. Okay, okay. I think we can move to the next part. Okay, same conditions. We have just changed the values here. Okay, so as we can see here, they have given that A by B is 3 by 2. And they have given B by C as 4 by 3. They have given C by D as 2 by 4. The same process, start with the last two conditions. Okay, so value of C is in the second case 3 and first case it is 2. So take the LCM of 3 and 2, we know it is 6. So now to make 2 6, what you have to do? Multiply it with 3. So multiply 3 in the numerator and the denominator part. Okay. Now do the same for the second case. So here C is 3. So to make it 6, you have to just multiply it with 2. Okay. Now if you are just comparing the first and the second condition, the value of B in the first case is 2 itself, but the value of B has become 8. So LCM of 2 and 8 is what? 8 itself. So you have to make 2 as 8. So just multiply it with 4 in the numerator and the denominator. Okay. So here as well, now we have made the values which are common same. Now you can just directly connect with the ratios. Okay. So the value of A is 12, B is 8, C is 6 and D is 50. Okay. So the final answer will be 12 is to 8 is to 6 is to 50. Okay. So I hope that you got the solution here as well. Okay. We can move to the next question. Okay. So here some of the word problems we are going to discuss. So here in this question, they have given that an amount of 900 is divided among A, B, C in the ratio of 1 is to 2 is to 3, and we have to find the difference of share between A and C. Okay, so multiple ways to do it. You can connect it with based on X. Okay, we will be doing in both the ways. If you are using the concept of X, what we can assume that share of A we are assuming it as X, share of B we are assuming it as 2x, and share of C you can take it as 3x. Okay, so 900 is what basically the total amount. So what we can say, the sum of these three numbers should give us what? 900. So x plus 2x plus 3x is what? What does the sum give? That is 6x. So 6x is equivalent to what? 900. Okay, then x has to be what? X has to be 900 by 6. So that is going to give us 150. So we have got the value of x. Now what is being asked? The difference of share between A and C. Okay. If we just comparing here, the share of x is here, share of A is x and C is 3x. So what is the difference here? 3x and x, what is the difference? 2x. So technically we need to find the value of 2x. Already we know the value of x is 150. So value of 2x has to be what? Yeah, 2 into 150. That is 300. Okay, so we have got the final answer that the difference of share between A and C is what? 300. Okay, so one way is this, you can easily find out based on using this logic. Otherwise, what we can do, you also use the fraction approach as well. So we can just discuss that part as well. The fraction approach basically means what? We know the ratio of shares of A, B and C is 1 is to 2 is to 3. So we can say the total share in ratio is what? total, that is 1 plus 2 plus 3, that is 6. So, out of 6 parts, what we need to find? We need to find the difference of share between A and C. So, in the ratio part, the share of A is 1 and C's share is 3. So, difference of that there will be 2. So, we need to find the total share is 6, we need to find the value of 2 into the total share, that is 900. Now, just cancel out 2 3s are 6. 900 by 3 gives us what? 300. Okay, so same answer, we can directly say that the difference of share between A and C is what here? 300 itself. Okay, so I hope you got the solution here as well. Okay, okay, moving on to the next question. Okay, the next question, similar question, but the ratio here what they have done. Just first we can just read the question. So here they have given that 68,000 is divided among A, B, C in the ratio of 1 by 2 is to 1 by 4 is to 5 by 16. And they have told the difference between the largest and the small. That is what they have asked. So how we can do this? First, what we have to do, we have to just try and convert this ratio which is given in the fraction part into a whole number. So we have already discussed the format in which we have to do. So what were the two steps? First step was take the denominator LCM of the denominator, and the second step is that just multiply the denominator in the three fractions. So here if we see the 2, 4 and 16 are the denominators. So obviously their LCM is what? 2, 4 and 16, LCM is 16. So just multiply 16 in the three fractions. So that will give us 1 by 2 into 16, 1 by 4 into 16 and 5 by 16 into 16. Okay, just cancelling the numbers, we are getting the ratios at 8 is to 4 is to 5. Okay, so that is 1 by 2 is to 1 by 4 is to 5 by 16. And the whole number will give us in the ratio of 8 is to 4 is to 5. Okay, now you can do it directly. You know the total amount, you need to find the difference of largest and smallest share. So as we know, the total share has to be the sum of these three ratios. So sum will be 17. Out of 17, we need to find the value of largest and smallest share. So largest share in ratio has to be what? 8. Smallest has to be 4. So difference is 4. So out of 17, 4 into total. Total is what here? 68,000. Okay, now just calculate the values. So 17 4s are is 68. 68,000 will be 4,000. So 4,000 into 4 is what? 16,000. Okay. So here the final answer will be 16,000. Okay, so I hope that you got the solution here as well. Okay, so like we said, the basics are important here. So that part, that is what we did in the first case, we just converted the ratios, that the fractions or the ratios that were given in the fraction form into whole number. So that made our question a bit more easy. Okay, okay. Now I think we can move to the next question here. Now the next question, if you just reading it, the sum of money is to be distributed among A, B, C, D in the ratio of 6 is to 8 is to 3 is to 4. They have given a condition that if B gets 500 more than C, then the difference of share between A and B that they have asked. Okay. So we already know the ratio in which A, B, C, D are going to get the share, that is 6 is to 8 is to 3 is to 4. And they have given a condition that which says that B gets how much? 500 more than C. So B is getting 500 more than C. So that condition could be interpreted in many ways. Okay. The first, obviously B gets 500 more than C. Otherwise we can say that C gets 500 less than B. Any other ways? Yeah. Another concept we can use is the difference of their shares. What share they are getting. The difference of that also has to be what? 500. Now if we are seeing in the ratios, the share of B is 8 here, share of C is 3 here. So difference is what? 8 minus 3 is what? 5. Okay. Now you see in the ratio part, the difference is 5, but the actual value that they have told is 500. So we can say that 5 ratio is 500. So from there we can say that 1 ratio has to be what? 100. Okay, so we got the value of 1 ratio here as 100. Now, what is the final question that they have asked? They have asked the difference of share between A and B. So, what is the difference of share between A and B? So, A's share is 6, B's share is 8. So, difference is 2. So, we need to find the value of 2 ratio. We already know 1 ratio is 100. So, 2 ratio has to be what? 200. Okay, so directly we have got that the difference of share between A and B has to be here 200. Okay, so I hope that you got the solution. Okay, now I think we can move to the next question. Okay, so next question, what does it say? The number of apples in 3 baskets are in the ratio of 3:4:5. Okay, in which ratio the number of apples in the first 2 baskets must be increased so that the new ratio becomes 5:4:3. So, they have given 2 conditions. In the first condition, say I am assuming that the first basket is A, second is B and third is C. So, they have given the first ratio as 3:4:5, and after the change the ratio has become 5:4:3. Okay. Now, if we are just reading the second sentence a bit more again together, they have told that in which ratio the number of apples in the first 2 baskets must be increased. So, they have just stressed that in the second condition what they have done, they have just increased the number of apples only in the first and the second basket. So, we can assume that the third basket there isn't a change in the number of apples. Okay, if there was a change, they would have said in the question. So, as we know, if there is no change, then that ratio has to be same. If there is no change in the value, it has been understood that the ratio has to be similar. So, what we can do here is we have to make the ratio of C in both the cases similar. So, we have already studied to make the ratio in both the cases similar. What is the process? Just take the LCM of the 2 values and multiply the value according to that. So, 5 and 3 are the values of C here. So, LCM of 5 and 3 gives us what? 50. So, in the first ratio, in case of C, the value is 5. To make it 15, what you have to do? Multiply it with 3. But the main condition lies that you have to, if you are multiplying C with 3, you have to, throughout you have to multiply it with 3. Okay. Now, in the second ratio, what you have to do? Value of C is 3. So, to make it 15, you have to multiply it with 5. Okay. Now, if you are just multiplying the first ratio throughout by 5, what you are getting? That is A:B:C becomes 9:12:15. Okay, 9:12:15, and the second ratio becomes 25:20:50. Okay, so we have made the value of C as same. Now, if we are just comparing the values in case of A and B, what is the change? The value of A in the ratio initially was 9, it has become 25. So, what is the increase of A? 16 ratio has been increased. In case of B, it was 12, now it has become 20. So, what is the increase? 8. Okay. So, we can say that in case of A, the ratio has increased by 16, in case of B, it has, or the ratio has increased by 8. So, we can say there is an increase of 16:8. Now, if we are just simplifying this, we can get the answer as 2:1. So, we can say the ratio of A and the first 2 apples, or in the first 2 baskets, the number of apples have increased in the ratio of what we can say 2:1. Okay, so we can here mark our answer as option C, that is 2:1. Okay, so I hope that you got the solution of this question as well. Okay. Now, I think we can move to the next question. Okay. Now, next question, just reading that a person divided rupees 8,200 among 3 sons A, B, C, such that 3/2 times of the amount received by A is equal to 4 times of the amount received by B, and 4/3 times of the amount received by C. So, we have to find the difference of share between A and B. Okay. If we are just seeing, they have given the total amount which they are divided, but they haven't given the ratios directly, but they have compared the conditions based on the amount received by A, B and C. Okay. So, we do not know the amount that they have received. So, we can just assume it. So, what we are going to do is we are going to assume that the amount received by A, we are assuming it as say X. The amount received by B, we are assuming it as Y, and we are assuming that C got an amount of Z. Now, what does the condition says? Such that 3 by 2 times of the amount received by A. So, we have assumed that A gets X. So, 3 by 2 times of that is what? 3 by 2x. Okay. Equal to, what is the condition now says? 4 times of the amount received by B. So, we have assumed that B gets an amount of Y. So, 4 times of that basically means what? 4Z. 4Y, sorry, equal to 4 by 3 times of the amount received by C, that is 4 by 3Z. So, we can say these three conditions are equal. So, what is the priority here? We have to find the value of X is to Y is to Z. So, I hope that you are familiar with this condition. What you can do? First you can just eliminate the denominator here. Okay, that will make it a bit more easier. So, if we see the denominator, we have 2 and 3. So, just take the LCM and multiply it in every terms. So, 6, just multiply 6 with every terms. We are getting the value as, this value becomes 9x, this becomes 24y, and this becomes 8z. Okay. So, just multiplying what we did in the first step, we just multiplied the LCM of the denominator. Okay. Now, we know the process to find X is to Y is to Z. Okay. What was the process? First, take the LCM of the coefficient. Okay. So, here the coefficients are 9, 24 and 8. So, what is the LCM there? 9, 24, 8. What is the LCM that we are going to get? Now, what we can take? We can take the LCM as, okay, just we can just find it out. 9, 24, 8. What are the common terms? So, we can go with 3. So, 3 3s are is 9. 24 by 3 is 8, and we are getting 8. We can go with 8 again, and we will be left with 3. So, LCM is a product of these numbers, that is 3 into 8 into 3. Otherwise, we can say it is 8 into 9, that is 72. So, we have got the LCM as 72 here. Now, equate every term with the LCM. So, what we are going to get? 9x is equal to 72. Likewise, 24y equal to 72. Likewise, 8z is also equal to 72. So, what is the value of x here? Value of x will be, you just write it out, value of x is 8, value of y is 3, value of z is 9. Okay. So, we are getting the ratio as 8 is to 3 is to 9. Okay. Now, only the final question is remaining. What they have asked? The difference of share between A and B. So, in the ratio, if we are seeing A and B share is 8 and 3. So, what is the difference here? 8 minus 3 is 5. Okay. So, 5 out of, we know the total share. Total share is the sum of these three numbers or the ratios. So, 8 plus 3 is 11 plus 9 is 20. So, 5 by 20 into the total value, the total share, that is 8,200. Okay. So, we can just cancel it out. 820 by 2 gives us 410. 410 into 5 is going to give us what? 2050. Okay. So, here we can say the difference of share between A and B will be here. Yeah, A and B has to be 2050. Okay. So, I hope that you got the solution. Just if we just discussing the important points here. The first was to assume that the three people have got different amounts. So, we assume that as x, y and z, and just connected the conditions based on that. Okay. To get the ratio of their amounts as 8 is to 3 is to 9. Okay. We knew the total amount. From there we got the difference of share between A and B as 2050. Okay. So, I hope that you got the solution here. Okay. Okay. So, I think we can move to the next question, a bit similar to the last question as we discussed. So, here as we can see, total amount they have given, that is 559. So, it is divided among 3 friends, okay, such that what is the condition? 4 times of the amount received by the first friend is equal to what? 6 times of the amount received by the second friend and 8 times of the amount received by the third friend. Okay. So, that is a condition that they have given. We have to find the share of the third friend. Okay. So, like in the last question, we do not know the share of the 3 friends. So, we can assume that the share of the first friend, okay, assuming that first friend share is say capital A, assuming that second friend's share as capital B, and assuming that third friend's share as, we can assume that the third friend's share as capital C. Now, what is the condition that they have given? 4 times of the amount received by the first friend. So, we have assumed that the first friend is getting an amount of capital A. So, 4 times of that is what? 4A, equal to 6 times of the amount received by the second friend. So, assuming that second friend gets the amount B. So, 6 times of that is what? 6B, equal to what? 8 times of the amount received by the third friend. So, assuming that the third friend gets an amount of capital C. So, 8 times of that will give us 8C. Okay. Now, try and find out the ratios of A, B and C. So, we know the method. First, find the coefficients LCM. So, the LCM of 4, 6 and 8. Okay. So, 4, 6 and 8 will give us an LCM of 24. Okay. Now, compare all the values with 24. So, 4A equal to is 24, then 6B is equal to 24 and 8C is also equal to 24. Now, from this we can say that value of A is 6, value of B is 4 and value of C is 3. So, we have got the ratio of A, B and C is 6:4:3. Okay. Now, we need to find the value of the share of the third friend. So, we are seeing the sum of these three shares has to be 13. So, out of that 3 parts is the share of the third friend. So, 3 by 13 into what we can say it is 559. So, 13 if we are just cancelling by 4 times and 3 times, 3 into 43 gives us what? 129. So, we can say that the third friend share is here what? 129. Okay. So, these were the questions or the basic concepts of ratio. So, I hope that you got an idea. So, just go through it. So, we are winding up this session. So, in the next session, we will be dealing with another important topic. So, we are winding up for today. Okay.